Someone pays your significant other $20 million to have Shreks with them. They tell you immediately afterwards and split the money with you. How do you react? Why? Wait, so now I have $10 million and a significant other? It's all coming up Milhouse. You get $20 million. Any money you split with your right hand is still yours after all. I'm not gay, but jerking somebody off for $20 million is absolutely doable. My ex did it for free, or chose not to split the money. Oof, you too. Now ask the same question, but change the amount from $20 million to $1,000 if you want to see some actual interesting answers. Nobody is ever going to offer $20 million to frick someone, but plenty of people will pay $1,000. Virtually everyone will be cool with $20 million split. Virtually everyone is divorcing, breaking up over $1,000 split. Pretty boring answers still. I think here you are going to get varied answers based on how badly a family needs money. My partner and I make more than double that in a week. $10,000 would a month for us. Would I feel bad that they were unfaithful for a month's wage? Probable. $100,000? That's nearly a year for us. That's both of our student debt wiped out. That's a down payment on a house. That's 4 years' rent. We begin to be in an interesting territory. At that point I'd probably go, I am deeply uncomfortable, but I know you did this for us and it's a year or more earlier we can each retire. Add another zero? $1 million? No brainer. Screw anyone you want for 1 meter. Just don't bring any diseases home. I mean, we are supposed to talk about it before, but you know what? Cool. Was waiting for this. Sure, the whole not consulting me first would be kinda whack, but it's hard to really get too bothered over a fresh $20 out of 10 mil. Yeah, I would find a way to get over it in between calling my lawyer, accountant, and the real estate agent I just hired to put some of that $20 million into a new house. I asked them who the frick this person is and if they could get the $20 million regularly. I'd let them frick me for another $20 million. I think they'd pay money not to frick you. Once you start getting in the millions, there are not a lot of things I wouldn't do. Had this conversation the other day with some friends. My rule was basically I'll do almost anything for a mil as long as it's not seriously hurting someone. This conversation always ends up with who will suck a dong for the least amount of money. A. You told me. B. You give me half. Win in my book? We've talked this over as a hypothetical. We agreed each of us will do it for any amount in the 6 figures and up. Good communication is the key to a successful relationship. In my experience, it's actually that good imagination is key to a hypothetical relationship. I get $10 million and a girlfriend. Sign me up. The insignificant wife will be more pissed than usual though. High-five him and get an STD screening. Solid business move, but let's not spread too much joy this holiday season. And when the tests come back negative, we are fricking on a pile of money. Honestly, you should probably get tested again after fricking on circulated currency. Good to know that they're not stupid. For that kind of money they can do whatever is necessary. They can do me next for all I care. And another $20 million. I have to ask, a lot more? Have none of y'all watched Denise Norwood's Proposal? Would you have Shreks with Robert Redford for $1 million? Sure, if I had $1 million. Hang on to that person. They just had 20 million inches their possession and you didn't know. They could have just disappeared with all of it. But instead they were honest with you and even gave you half in spite of your having done none of the work. That person is loyal. Do not throw it away. Plus this person has a $20 million ass pussy dong. Don't let them go. Damn straight. $20 million is a shootload of money. I would understand exactly why they did it. I would respect that they told me immediately. And I would also be very moved by the fact that they were willing to split this much money with me. I can't say it wouldn't bother me at all to picture them with someone else, but in this case it wouldn't be difficult to get over it. I think it's one of those things that looks like an easy decision to make ahead of time, but still wouldn't pass over without any issues as most replies make it out to be. Like sure, I'd go for the money as well, but to think that this would not leave some kind of impact on the relationship is wishful at best. It might be easy to work through because of the money for some, but honestly even the one doing it might still feel guilty after the fact. It's really not possible to be 100% sure of the outcome in terms of feelings on either side. Thank you? This is my thought too. I don't know that either my soul or I would do it. We are by no means rich, but we are happy together. I wouldn't want to put that on the line for money. I grew up in a fairly wealthy household and my parents were miserable and definitely spread some of it to us. I am 1,000 times happier now in a lower income situation than I ever was before. Taking the deal means risking everything good that I already have in exchange for things that could potentially be good in the future. Plus, there's way too many couples that have gone into threesomes thinking that it's what they wanted, and come out of it brokenhearted and unable to get past it. She probably wouldn't sleep with the other person, either, so we'd both be broke. Lomeo same. Faithful and broke. My crowd. No problem. We both had Shreks with a lot of other people before. Having Shreks $4.20 million to improve both of our lives is the obvious right choice. Me? A virgin. We what now? Bro, just pay any of us $20 million. Problem solved. Let it happen. He doesn't love me anyways. Then I'll be rich and free. This made me sad. I hope you're okay, friend. You deserve to be rich and free. Thank you? Fine, I'll bite. I don't know, I always liked monogamous Shreks and it felt special when my ex and I were together. I feel like the money wouldn't be worth it. Like I'd rather be in my current financial situation and just be happy with someone than compromise morals for money. I know my feelings would be hurt lol. If that makes me a pussy, then I guess I am. It's not all about money. It genuinely surprises me the amount of people here that would choose money over the foundations of a relationship. That's what I mean, right? Like I enjoy just being committed to one person, and it makes the intimacy you share, in my opinion, special. Money is just material. Throw in a little extra. He can frick me too. $20 million and we splitting it? I'd be bringing them water and snacks and shoot while they frickin'. Anything else you guys need? No. Okay, I'll be downstairs, let me know if you need anything. I'd be cheering the dude on as he's clapping my girl's cheeks into oblivion. And once I get the 10 mil I'm out. Can't be dating no frickin' cheater. Clapping my girl's cheeks into oblivion. There was this podcast with an MMA fighter that is in an open relationship. He said something to the effect of, well, if someone's fricking my wife, I don't want them to be fricking her poorly. Really made me think. And once I get the 10 mil I'm out. Can't be dating no frickin' cheater. Damn dude, that's brutal. I'm not a cuck, but 10 million is 10 million. Some things are more important than money. Absolutely. I'd rather be poor and in a committed, faithful, loving relationship. No matter how much money it was, I'd never be able to look at my soul the same way again. Holy shoot, y'all have some red flag standards. For freaking real. I have been searching too deep for such a comment. I wish most of the people here are just joking, but I know better. Break up. Surprised this is actually so far down. I don't necessarily have a problem with the Nesneroid proposal when it's that amount of money. More that she wouldn't tell me until after. I get the impression from the prompt that she doesn't have the chance to tell you first, i.e., she has to decide on the spot whether to accept the deal. I'd be extremely upset. He would know I don't care about money, and no amount of money would make cheating forgivable for me. Let me add, since people can't take into account that some people have trauma from past relationships, my so has sat there and listened to me as I tell him about my fears about relationships and being with him. He knows how much trust means to me. He knows how badly it messed me up and how worthless I felt when a man I was with at 17 cheated on me constantly and broke me and made me feel ugly and worthless. If the man I'm with now did this to me, it would be the biggest betrayal he could do. And it would hurt way more than if he just left me. Love you. I love you too, random citizen. This will inevitably come off as naive, but I'd probably leave them. The question implies that they didn't tell me in advance. Why didn't they trust me? In addition to that, I don't want to send the message that I'm okay with them sleeping around. If I look the other way on them crossing that line this once, it becomes that much easier to do again and again. Who's to say they'll have respect or loyalty for me after that? Once I've made clear that they can cheat on me as much as they want and I'll do nothing about it, I assume it's a requirement of the payment. Like, the pay gets off on the secret or the implied betrayal of trust. Whatever, though, student loan debt sucks. And she still told me, Stephen King has an interesting short story that's got a similar premise. Wife coerced into doing something against her morals, talks it over with her husband, they're in massive debt, and even with them both agreeing that it's a good idea and both work equally towards the goal, it tears them apart. That's probably what would happen to most folks here, too. But also, in the US we live in a capitalistic hellscape, so it's hard to really know what you do in this scenario. At least you're thinking honestly and trying to be true to yourself, considering this. Exactly. Like, mathematically and financially, it's clearly the logical decision, but this is just as much an emotional decision. People get jealous. I'd get jealous, and I'd never be able to let it go. I think this thread is a great illustration of how many Redditors have never been in a serious relationship. You're the person you love, the person who stuck with you through thick and thin and shared everything in your life, who knows you pretty much as well as you know yourself, willingly frick someone else for money. They didn't even ask. They just told you afterward. You're going to be picturing that in your head while you sit in your fancy house. You're going to be picturing that in your head while you're on your nice holiday in the Bahamas. All this nice stuff around you is just going to turn into poison, because it's a constant reminder of how you got the money. I'd try to get over it, but I wouldn't be remotely pleased. I certainly wouldn't be as thrilled as half of you people are. Unless you have an open relationship or a cuck fetish, in which case good on you. Who knew it would be so profitable?